Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Simple Not Easy. I'm Gavin Bowen, and is this an episode? I guess I'll start calling them episodes. I don't know. Another video for you. Simple Not Easy is really just an opportunity for me to talk about some of the things that interest me. Most of that is politics, culture, things in that realm. And I started off Simple Not Easy with a lot of politics, and to just take a step aside from that, one thing I've been learning about more and reading more about and getting more interested in is AI. There are a lot of people that I follow who are interested in this. Elon Musk is one. Stephen Hawking has said a lot on AI. Sam Harris is another person that has spoken up a lot about artificial intelligence. And recently, I was just playing around with these ideas and thoughts about AI and what it really means, because when you think about it, artificial intelligence, now we see it in most of our devices. It's just a very basic AI, a simple AI. But in our smart cars or in our Teslas, we rely heavily on AI. And one of the things that I think is an interesting sort of prospect that we kind of have to consider as, a society is, what kind of morality do we put in AI? This is something that Sam Harris has talked about, actually, that I heard him talk about with Richard Dawkins recently, that, we're making smart cars and we're building AI to self-drive them. But when they're driving, who are they actually protecting? Are they protecting mainly the driver? Is the driver considered 100% of protection by the AI, or are pedestrians considered a little bit above the driver? And in this system, in this software, we're going to have to input a morality into that software. And it just got me thinking, like, well, let's say you have a situation where you are in your self-driving car, the car is driving, you are attentive and you are there and present, but the car is doing the driving, you are not. And it reacts to something in front of you. The sensors pick up there is immediate danger directly in front of you. So your car in that moment, with more sophisticated AI, would have to determine what the best course of action is. Obviously, immediately stopping would be one of those, but maybe it also senses that would cause a collision behind you. And if the car is putting you at the forefront of who it's protecting, then it's going to avoid crashes altogether. So let's have that premise that it's protecting you 100% of the time. If it veers out of the way, say to the right towards a sidewalk, it has to know what it's sensing on the sidewalk. Is that a tree? Is it a mailbox? Is it a dog? Is it a person? Is it a child? The car will have to be able to recognize that, and it's only really with whatever kind of morality that we input into the software will it be able to make the determine of what is the best course of action in this situation. Do I get the driver in danger, or do I sacrifice some other pedestrian that might be in the way? Or what if it's simply just a dog or a squirrel that's on the side? Does it take out the squirrel? I think we know, in that situation, yeah, the squirrel would probably not see another day. But if it's somebody's dog, will the car take that into account or just sacrifice? I mean, it's not a human being. It's the car's protecting you. And also, who's to say that the car is actually going to protect you 100% of the time? Maybe we install the software that, I don't know, maybe it's a 50-50, where maybe it's trying to emulate human driving in the sense that we try driving defensively. So we're trying to avoid accidents. We're trying to avoid pedestrians when we can. But this was just something that kind of popped in my head, and I was thinking about it more and more as I was reading about AI, and it's a really interesting, topic. A lot of you out there who are probably into, the subject as well probably don't think it's that complicated, but well, it isn't that complicated until you start thinking about, who is actually developing the software. I would put my money on Elon Musk to make the right choice, but he's not the sole provider of the morality. He's not writing the morality code that goes into his Teslas, which don't really have a morality right now. They just have a sense of what's around them and how to stop and how to, immediately protect itself, the car. So this is something that's going to come up more and more, because eventually we're going to get to a point where it will be illegal for you to drive your car. If everybody has self-driving cars, the person who is driving that self-driving car is putting more people at risk, because we're human. We're more accident prone. Things are going to happen with us behind the wheel rather than software that is designed to drive appropriately with other software-enabled self-driving cars around it. So it's an interesting topic. It reminds me of the trolley psychological question of you have a trolley coming down the tracks, and you are standing above the tracks on an overpass, and you have a control in front of you that can turn the track one way or the other, and the trolley's coming down, and you see that the trolley is going to run over 5 people. But you have the ability to change that track so that the trolley avoids those 5 people, but on the other track that you changed it to, there is 1 person. And you have to make that choice. You have the control. You are there. You see that the trolley is going to take out 5 people, but you have the option to save those 5, but sacrifice 1 other life. That's kind of the decision we have when we're writing the code for future self-driving cars. How is the car going to make that choice? If there are 5 of you in the car knows that there are 5 passengers in the car, including the driver. Something happens in front of them, a situation occurs where the car has to move out of the way to avoid itself from crashing. If it moves out of the way to save the 5 that are in the car, would it sacrifice someone else in order to save those 5? Or does it just avoid that 1 person because it knows it can't go either way without endangering other people, and it does as little damage as it possibly can by braking and maybe saving those 5 lives? Pretty interesting stuff. There's definitely a lot of literature out there. If you've ever been to Wait But Wise website, he does a really good job of going over a lot of the differences in AI and some of the fears and legitimate fears that people inside and out of the AI industry are talking about. I would take a look at that. I believe Nick Bostrom has a book that goes about talking about AI. There's just a lot of good stuff out there that you can read up on and see. But anyway, I thought that that would be an interesting topic and something to maybe get your mind thinking on. I have more articles coming out soon and more videos as well as I can get them to you. But enjoy that little thought experiment, and that topic for now, and I will see you next time. This is Simple Not Easy, and I am Gavin Bowen. See ya.